my residency from Regional Institute of Ophthalmology, Pandit B.D. Sharma, last year only. My title for the paper is Effect of Donor Age, Cause of Death, and Death-Eucleation Time on Corneal Endothelial Cell Density. Corneal diseases are one of the major causes of blindness. Donor corneas are screened in several ways in order to prevent grafts with poor viability or grafts that may transmit diseases being used in keratoplasty. Now, graft viability is affected by various factors, which are donor age, death-eucleation time, previous eye diseases, intraocular surgery or trauma, the methods of corneal removal and storage, and the physiological and morphological characteristics of donor corneal endothelium. Now, unfit grafts consist of various points like ECD less than 1500 cells per square mm square, severe polygmathism, fused cells and single cell defects, central corneal catheter, severe edema, and inflammatory cells and bacteria. Now, this was a retrospective cross-sectional study which was done on the donor corneas in a short duration of 3 months from 1st May till 31st July 2016 at Eye Bank of AIOC2018 Rohtak. Now, 33 eyes were randomly taken for either of the eyes of the 33 different donors, and the groups were made. Now, according to the age, 3 groups were made, one of less than 50 years, then 50 to 75 B group, and C more than 75 years. On basis of cause of death, 3 groups were made. The group A comprises of all the contraindications like septicemia, cancer, HIV, HP, SAG seropositive, etc. The second group comprises of all the natural causes of death like cardiac arrest, IC bleed, pulmonary embolism, and the rest comprised of the other causes. Now, death-eucleation time was divided into 2 groups, that is 0 to 3 hours of duration, and the second one was 3 to 6 hours of duration. Fixed frame method for endothelial cell counting was done using Corneal cell check D specular microscope, and the average number of cells were calculated. Stats consisted of tests used for stats were unpaired t-test, Spearman correlation test, and they were considered p-value less than 0.05 was considered significant. Now, as the range of the population consisted of 20 years to 88 years, and in this 20 were males and 13 were females. Now, when you take age versus ECD, the 3 groups, these were the respective ECDs, and while comparing the various groups like A with B, the group C, that is more than 75 years of age, so A versus C and B versus C, the values, that is the difference between the ECD, was found statistically significant. Both were having significantly higher ECD values than the group C. Now, age versus ECD, we have done a correlation thing also, and we have found a negative correlation with the correlation value of minus 0.506, and which was significant. With increasing age, ECD decreased. And while comparing the ECD of 2 eyes, there was a positive correlation, which was having a value of 0.363, and it was significant. While comparing the cause of death versus ECD, all the 3 groups, and while comparing the 3 groups, it was not, the difference in the ECD was not significant. Then coming to the death-eucleation time versus ECD, this time duration was 0 to 3 hours and 3 to 6 hours in 2 groups, and that was also not found significant. While coming between male and female, the gender thing, it was like 1969 was the ECD of the male, and female was 1679 cells per mm square, and there was no significant difference. It was higher in males, but that was not significant. The results of the present study clearly showed that corneal endothelial cell density decreases with age, which was in accordance with the various results from the other reports. No statistically significant differences between males and females' cornea were observed. The correlation between the endothelial cell densities of paired corneas was statistically significant with the R value of minus 0.363. The mean corneal endothelial cell density compared to cause of death were 1750 cells per mm square in group A, 1780.23 cells per mm square in group B, and 1996.91 cells per mm square in group C. The differences between these 3 groups were not significant, and various studies found the cause of donor death to have no influence on the outcomes of corneal grafting. No significant differences in death-eucleation time with ECD was found. Limitations of the study, information about the general condition of the donors prior to death, and uncertainty to what extent the different treatment modalities may affect the corneal endothelium. Conclusion was there was a significant negative correlation between the donor age and mean ECD, and there was a significant correlation positive between ECD of both the paired corneas, and the effect of cause of death and death-enucleation time on ECD was not found significant. These are the various references.